Hi, welcome to Fern the Camper. I'm Holly. This is Fern, my HC1 Happier Camper tiny travel trailer. And today we're just going to talk about why we decided on Happier Camper's 13-foot HC1 as the travel trailer RV for us.
Testing.
What's your name?
My name is Clive.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you owned a Happier Camper?
We've had a Happier Camper for just over a year and a half.
Excellent. So how long did it take you to find the right trailer or RV?
Can't really remember how long we took to look. We were thinking of various different things. I remember it just being a few months between first getting the idea and finding this one.
That's funny.
It's probably a lot more than that. I'm going, I don't know. It's hard to know what was just ideas being thrown out to what then became serious thinking.
Very good. Okay, so what was camping like before the Happier Camper?
Before the Happier Camper, we had a tent. We went a couple of times with a tent, and it was a bit cramped inside the tent. And I remember one particular camping trip, it got quite blowy. And I personally didn't mind it too much, although the other two didn't sleep very well, and therefore I was kept up. But I think we all realised that we're not 20 anymore, apart from the little person who's not 20 yet. And maybe we needed something a little bit more comfortable to go camping in.
So what was it like seeing the HC1 for the first time at the showroom?
To first see it in person, I thought it looked clean, it looked pretty good. It's hard to know really. I don't remember having a feeling of, oh wow, this is amazing, this is fantastic, or anything like that. I just thought it looked good, it seemed quite practical, and yeah, I think that's what I was thinking really. I wasn't thinking, I don't remember my emotions going anywhere, to be honest.
So if it was just for you, what would have drawn you to Happier Camper, if anything?
Anything? I mean, I think it's lightweight, which I think is good. It can be pulled. You don't have to buy a huge, great big vehicle to pull it, or a gas guzzler. So I think that's quite important. So I think its lightness, I think its storage was good. The cubes, the overhead storage, I think was pretty good. So yeah, I think that's what I like about it.
If you could have your own dedicated Clive only Happier Camper, and we had a different one, so you could decorate, you could do whatever you wanted, solar or no solar, or just whatever you like.
Okay.
What would you choose?
I would definitely go solar, because I think that's a good thing to have. I would have a music station in here, I think. Not one of the blary ones that really annoys everyone on campsites. But just a small one in here that I can just listen to quietly in the evening if I'm not outside. Yeah, I'm not sure about having the kitchen in here. I don't think I'd have that. In other ways, how I'd decorate it, it's a tough one, and I'm not too sure really. Maybe a fridge or a cooler. I think maybe a cooler.
You'd have a beer cooler.
A beer cooler, yeah, would be quite a good thing to have.
Okay, Thorn.
Yes.
Now that we've had Fern for about a year and a half, can you tell everyone what it was that made us decide to get a Happier Camper?
So we were planning on getting a teardrop trailer or a swimming pool in our backyard. I really wanted a swimming pool and a teardrop trailer, but we didn't have enough money. So we searched the web. I also really want a camper van or a teardrop trailer. So we searched the web. We found loads of camper vans, and then we decided to visit the Happier Camper showroom. So we went to the showroom and we got So we went to the showroom. There was this huge camper that looked just like Fern right there, because it was like we just went on Christmas break, and there's like, because it was close to Christmas, we had like they had a wreath on the camper, and then we got to see all the campers. Where my mom saw it. She was going to get the Pacific Blue, but I really like the Fern color. But then later, Mom said we're getting the Fern color.
So how long did it take us to find the right trailer?
At first we thought we wanted Pacific Blue, but, well, how long did it actually take us? A few years?
So what was our first camping trip in Fern like?
So we are going to go camping at Los Chica, but we couldn't stay overnight, so like weeks later, I told one of my friends who loves Morro Bay, who's obsessed with Morro Bay, that we're going there, and she was really surprised. So we went to Morro Bay, and that was our official first camping trip. I thought Morro Bay was like our second or third camping trip, but when I looked in my my old camping diary, it actually said that it's our first time.
What was camping like before we had Fern the Camper?
We would go camping in our tent, Pine, and our camp don't form. I just named her Pine. And so she was so I just remember our first camping trip that I ever had. We were camping in Joshua Tree. And I'll put title on the here side. Joshua Tree. And then, so we went to Joshua Tree. They're like these huge fire ants that were just like everywhere. And yeah, and then we went to Kernville, which I loved, and it's one of my favorite campsites still.
It's a pretty campsite.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm planning, like, back to Joshua Tree. So we're planning on doing 2 nights to Joshua Tree. First night, really uncomfortable, so let's go to Motel 6. And then Kernville, we're planning to stay 2 nights as well, but we stayed 1 night, and then I was like, look, there's Kernville and it has a swimming pool. Let's go swimming pool instead of just swimming in that silly shallow river that could carry us away.
So what's it like when you're camping without Fern the Camper and you have to get up in the middle of the night to use the potty?
They're usually porta potties, so with no lights inside, so you have to carry a lantern or use a phone light. Pretty sure Mom used her phone, so she had to point the phone at me so I could see. And
Alright, so life with Fern. Now that we have Fern in our lives and we can go camping with her, what's it like if you have to use the potty in the middle of the night?
Well, if our ancestors didn't have that toilet, then we'd probably just went to bed.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question
I know,
again.
but I know, but now we do. Our ancestors did have that toilet, so now we could just get up and then go. But I was always worried that I'd wake everybody up, so I usually just asked permission.
Yeah, but do you have to walk all the way out to the campsite's potty?
Because sometimes you might have to go so bad that you might pee in your pants.
Oh, that's pretty scary if you have to pee in your pants. Yeah. So we wanted to introduce Thorn into camping. We had been a couple times in our tent and it was cramped, it was tight, and it was not fun. You know, there would always be someone pulling up late next to us, making a lot of fuss, flashing their lights into our tent. We had one campsite where dogs were just literally running circles around our tent, barking at us at 1 a.m. because that's when their people decided to show up to the campsite. It was really loud, it was really brash, it was very frightening for Thorn, and most of the time we ended up more exhausted on our camping trips than relaxed and happy to be out in nature. I thought it was time for something a little more secure, something that we could pack a lot more gear into, because it's not the same as when you're alone in the wilderness and you're just doing a solo hike or a backpacking trip. When you're camping with a family, there needs to be a lot more stuff. And with our tiny car, we have a Prius that would fit us, and a tent and maybe a couple of sleeping mats, but not enough to really make a camping trip truly comfortable. So we wanted something that we could travel with, something that was lightweight. I did not want to get a new car to tow. I really wanted the Prius to be able to tow, even though the Prius isn't rated to tow anything. You know, those small 2 people teardrops, those looked amazing. And I was thinking about the teardrops, but we needed something that could comfortably fit 3 people, not just 2. So once we made the decision that it was going to be a travel trailer, then, now I'm going to step back, because before we thought travel trailer, I was also looking at VW buses. I thought a converted VW bus that could be perfect, maybe a Westphalia that could fit Thorn on the top on that little bunk bed, and a nice double bed below with a kitchenette. I thought that would probably be a good contender. And what stopped me was hearing a lot of stories about breakdowns, and we do have 2 VW bus and VW bug repair areas. We have 2 Volkswagen repair shops very close to our home, but I also recognize quite a few of the same clients coming back in with their vehicles and getting more maintenance done. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to be stuck on the road with another breakdown. I kind of like the idea of having a separate car and a separate living area that we can take camping with us. So it took me about 8 months to decide. 8 months to decide on the travel trailer. And once that decision was made, it was which travel trailer. eBay. I looked all over eBay. I looked on travel trailer websites. There were a lot of things coming up. There were a lot of RV showrooms that seemed to have travel trailers that were 18 to 22 foot and needed huge trucks to tow them. I knew I did not want something like that. I wanted something small, as close to the teardrop as I could find, but something that could, as I said, comfortably fit all 3 of us, and be towed, if not by our Prius, which I already knew was unlikely, something that was smaller and not a huge gas guzzler. And one of the reasons I didn't want a gas guzzler, not just because the cost of petrol, gas where we live, because we are in California and gas prices are insanely high. I just did not like the idea of pumping so much toxic fumes into the air. I wanted something that was as ecological as possible, but could also get us some really good places. So It took us a while to scour the internet, to look at all these different tiny trailer websites, and we did not actually go to any other showrooms except for the Happier Camper. The showrooms I was going to go to, I kept changing my mind on. They seemed too far away, their stock kept changing, and I wasn't terribly taken with what they had, and it just didn't feel right. So when we did find the Happier Camper showroom in LA, I was not expecting to know right away, and yeah, we went in and we saw a Happier Camper. It was Mojave Sage, just like Fern, and we climbed in and just sat down, and I think we just looked at each other and yeah, we're like, this is it. This is it. This is just right. That's pretty much how we found Happier Camper. That's how we found Fern. We put the order in, I believe it was the next week we came back in person and put our order in to have Fern made, and we went through the specs pretty quickly. I think we kind of knew what we wanted after about 2 years of debating and erming and awing over what we wanted. I think this was it. So we had, you know, we knew we were going to have Thorn's bed in the front, we knew we were going to have the queen bed in the back, we knew that we would be using our own 1-inch mattress foam topper that we were really attached to because it was just right. We knew that we wanted, you know, the gray stone effect finish on the panels, and we knew that we wanted kind of the sand color finish on the pillows. The fact that it was adaptable, I really liked. I really liked. Ultimately, we did just need a space for Thorn and a space for us that was comfortable and secure, that could have a traveling toilet if we needed. Did not need to have a kitchenette, but we chose a kitchenette anyway because I love the idea of cooking inside the campground on a rainy day while we just lounge on the beds and just hear those bacon sizzling or our stew boiling, whatever we decided to cook. In reality, the bacon leaves a lot of grease. I cooked that once inside and I will never do it again. It took me about 2 weeks to get the smell out of everything in the camper. So now our bacon days are strictly for outside of the camper. And on rainy days we can have the back hatch up and we can cook under that perfectly away from the rain. So that's our story of why we chose the Happier Camper. If you are out there looking for your tiny trailer or your perfect RV, I will say there is no such thing as an absolutely perfect RV, but what you need to do is just have your list of what is most important to you, and check out our video on how to purchase your tiny trailer, which I will try to link up there. If not, it'll be in the description below. And yeah, we have had such an amazing time since. We've been to more places, we have spent more time in Fern than we had ever expected to. I was frightened of investing in a travel trailer and then only using it once or twice, because they are expensive. They are expensive, especially if you are purchasing a new one. If you have the skills to DIY and the time and the resources, you can get some really excellent, maybe a little bit beat up, older travel trailers about the same size as Fern, and you can do it up to spec however you like. And that's wonderful. That's beautiful. But that wasn't us at this point in time. So if you have the money to invest, we found that the Happier Camper HC1 was an excellent investment for our family. We've been spending our travel time camping in Fern, whereas in the past, if we wanted to go to some of the places we would have gone, we would have had to get a hotel room, and the costs would have been even more. So if you have the money to spend and you think it's just going to be a waste, it's not. If you use it, it is so not a waste. Any place we can drive to, we can take Fern with us. And this is our hotel room. You know, where else can you wake up with a lake view, with a sea view, with a canyon view? This is a five-star views for essentially, if it's a national park or state park, $25 a night. That's just mind-boggling. And if you are adventurous and you do BLM land, and that's free. That is just your access and free night stay in the wilderness, in your tiny trailer, under the stars. It's beautiful. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. We go traveling in our tiny trailer Fern often, and we share those travel adventures as well as some how-tos and tips and product reviews. Alright, thank you so much. Stay safe and keep camping. So what's better, having Fern the Camper or a swimming pool?
Fern the Camper. I love you, Fern.
She loves you right back. See, she's trying to give you a hug, but she can't because she has no arms.
Bunting is like her arms.
Bunting is like her arms.
I'm also wearing Mom's fluffy coat that she got at REI.